everyone, my name is Sorna. Today, I'm going to tell you a story about Dear Mr. Kilmer. It is about a boy named Richard Knight. Richard Knight is a teenager who lives in Turtle Lake, United States with his father Pa, brother Gus and sister Angie. Richard is a boy who does not like to hurt or hunt nature. He is a very kind boy who likes to write poems. So, when he is instructed to kill a deer, he aims the rifle a little bit higher than the original position that it should be, which causes him not to kill the deer. His father notices this and asks him about it. Richard does not tell the reason of why he did not kill the deer. Instead, he writes a poem. He does not tell anyone that he writes a poem because they think he is already strange as it was. Now, let's look at scene 1. Scene 1. The Americans are at war with Germany. Richard is in the classroom. Mrs. Hansen is teaching them.
Stand up. Good morning, Mrs. Hansen.
Good morning, Mrs. Hansen.
Good morning, students. Alright, you may sit. Okay, students, so today I would like to read a poem entitled Tree. Okay, please listen carefully. Trees, they are there every day, and under them you can play. Their leaves can be green, and trees are never mean. Please, let them stay.
What was sissy stuff?
I beg your pardon?
My class says portrait are for sissies, and this sounds like a sissy poem.
Oh dear. I read this poem today because I want you all to know that Mr. Kilmer is not just a poet. He also signed up to fight for America, and many of the poets out there also signed up in the war. And some of them are even bigger troublemakers than you, Edna.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Hansen.
Oh, hello, Richard.
I really like the poem that you have just recited in the morning class. May I borrow the book?
Oh, sure, Richard. Oh, I really admire your likeness for poetry.
Thank you, Mrs. Hansen.
Scene 2. The next day, Richard is on his way back home. He sees his classmate Hannah crying outside. Hannah Schirmer is a German girl who was born and raised in the United States. But everyone in Turtle Lake treats them as outsiders from Germany. This is because they think that the Schirmers are spies from Germany for the war. But this is not exactly true. This is because the Schirmer's son Otto has joined the American army to fight for the war. But everyone in the class treats Hannah like an outsider. They do not really like her.
How does the thing house work?
Go.
Oh, Hannah, what happened to you? Why are you crying?
Edna and Hannah did this.
I have to talk to you too. What is it now? Why did you bully Hannah and scribble bad words on her notebook? You know that she is innocent just like the rest of us.
Do you think she's innocent? She's just a German girl. It's because of her people we are at the war right now.
That's true. If it were not for her people, we would be living peacefully now. That is outrageous. You know that is not true. Do not repeat that again or I will report to Mrs. Hansen.
Scene 3. When Richard reaches home, he makes a decision to read the book that he borrowed from Mrs. Hansen. After reading the book, he becomes mesmerized about the poems because they are almost similar to his. He immediately starts writing to Mr. Kilmer. Mr. Kilmer and Richard become thick pen pals quickly. They often exchange letters and Richard always asks for advice about his poems. Mr. Kilmer is very kind-hearted and always advises Richard to write a lot of poems and to share his feelings with his loved ones.
Hello, Mr. Kilmer. My name is Richard Knight from Turtle Lake. My English teacher, Mrs. Hanson, recited one of your poems in my class yesterday. I was really mesmerized by your poem. It was so similar to the ones I write. I am afraid to tell to people that I write poetry because they say poetry are for sissies. I sometimes feel lonely and poems are the ones that accompany me most of the time. May I share some of my poems with you to get some advice on how I can improve my poetry writing skills. Your fellow poet, Richard.
Dear Richard, I enjoy your letter and I sympathize with your predicament. It must be hard keeping your poetry dreams to yourself. You must not let fear of ridicule imprison you and make you deny who you really are. Be strong. I'm here at the New York Armory training to be a soldier. It's very hard work, and I must admit that I'm afraid just like you are. But being afraid is part of life, Richard. We both need to overcome our fears and do what we must do. If you really care about writing poetry, I think you must share your work with people around you. Write me again and please send me one of your poems. I'd like to read it. Your fellow poet, Joyce Kilmer.
In August, Richard receives a letter from Mr. Kilmer. After reading that letter, he has the urge to immediately reply to that letter. After writing his letter to Mr. Kilmer, he walks very fast to the post office to send it to Mr. Kilmer. On the way, he meets Hannah.
Hi Hannah.
Oh, hi, Richard.
Hi Hannah, where are you going?
Oh, hi, Richard. Actually, I was on my way to meet you.
But what happened to your face? You look so sad.
I hope you are strong after you hear this. Actually, Mr. Kilmer had lost his life in the war.
Really?
I know it's hard, but please.
I'm sorry, but I have to go.
Richard reaches home with red and soggy eyes. Pa sees him and asks him what's the matter. Richard tells him sadly that Mr. Kilmer has lost his life in the war. Pa comes and sits beside him and hugs him. He tells Richard about his brother Roland. He told how Roland lost his life in the war for Cuba. Pa said to Richard that when he watched them lower Roland's coffin, he kept saying the words, "A world is gone." He asked Richard how he knew those words, because those words were always in his home. Finally, Richard understood why he wrote poems.
What happened, Richard? Mr. Kilmer had died in the war.
Oh, that's so sad. Don't worry, I think Uncle Roland will be proud of you.
In the credit scene, Pa accompanies Richard to the local newspaper to help Richard publish the poem that he wrote about Mr. Kilmer and all the other lives that were lost in the war. That is the end of the drama, Dear Mr. Kilmer. I hope you have enjoyed the effort that my classmates and I have put in this drama. Thank you.
Okay, Ustaz. Thank you, Pa.
I know it's hard, but please.
I'm sorry, but I have to.